and I've said several times during the show that this is maybe the most decorated guest that we have on a regular basis, and we can see him on video as well. But let me just read this, Gino. The University of Miami announced Thursday, that's today. Now, again, admittedly, we may have announced this. We may have jumped the gun on this particular show.
Admittedly, we did.
Admittedly, we did jump the gun on this a few weeks ago. But now today.
Hey, the four of us all got in trouble, by the way. Well, you three didn't. I kind of did.
Dan Radakovich came down on his head, threatened to pull the retirement ceremony. No. Here's the official announcement. The University of Miami announced Thursday that the Hurricanes football program will retire legendary quarterback Gino Torretta's number 13 jersey. The jersey retirement ceremony will take place during Miami's regular season home finale at Hard Rock Stadium, November 18th against Louisville. We are excited to announce, this is from Dan Radakovich, we are excited to announce the retirement of Gino Torretta's number 13 jersey. Gino is the most decorated college player in the University of Miami football history and is also a member of our Ring of Honor, which serves as the highest honor for a Hurricanes football player or coach. We look forward to recognizing Gino and his family at Hard Rock Stadium on November 18th. They further write in the press release, Torretta was the starting quarterback on Miami's 1991 undefeated national championship team, and the following season led his team to another undefeated regular season and the 1992 national championship game at the Super Bowl. The consensus
Sugar Bowl,
team,
not Super Bowl.
You
know what? Hell, the whole team should be retired jerseys if we went to the Super Bowl.
I gave you an extra accolade. That's how good you were. The consensus first team All-American capped an incredible 1992 season by becoming the second Hurricane to win the Heisman Trophy, while also earning the Maxwell Award, the Davey O'Brien Award, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, the Walter Camp Player of the Year, the Chevrolet Offensive Player of the Year, the Toyota Leadership Award, the Hitachi CFA Scholar Athlete of the Year, and the NCAA Top 6 Award. Torretta posted a 26-2 record as Miami's starting quarterback, including 4 starts during the Canes' 1989 national championship season. He finished his career with 11 school records, including career passing attempts, completions, passing yards, total offense, single game passing yards, and longest touchdown pass, which I would imagine you still remember, 99-yarder. He still ranks in UM's top 5 in career passing yards, attempts, and completions. He was inducted into the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame and Museum in 2003, Ring of Honor in 2008, College Football Hall of Fame in 2009. And someone had texted in earlier in the show when we talked about you coming on, Tyler Van Dyke's going to have to change his number. No, he doesn't wear number 13. But there are 2 players who do. Chance Williams and Michael Redding III currently wear number 13. They will have a commemorative patch on their jerseys honoring Torretta. And do you know the other retired Miami Hurricanes?
Are you asking me, or are you asking Channing or Solana?
I know Crowder and Solana don't know.
Yeah, Hendricks. There's only
Ted
4.
Hendricks.
Ted Hendricks, Vinny Testaverde, I believe Jim Dooley, and
correct.
Is it Myra?
Yeah,
Myra is 4. Yeah.
I looked it up.
4.
Yeah. So Gino now is in
Channing would have told you 11 for Spurrier and 15 for Tebow. That's what he would have given you.
That's all we got.
Those are 2 pretty good ones, Channing.
What about number 55, Crowder, of the Florida Gators?
No, Alachua County Jail.
That picture is still rolling around, maybe with some stripes on it up there in Alachua.
Honestly, congratulations.
Yeah,
obviously, been a friend of yours for a long time, but this is quite an honor. And now that it's official, I'm imagining you probably heard from a lot of people today when they released this.
Yeah, I mean, since we had kind of broken the news a long time ago, we may have, I may have heard from other people a long time ago. But yeah, I was, when they made the official announcement, It's obviously I've heard from a bunch of teammates that I hadn't gotten to that now know and are excited about the game. Trying to schedule the festivities. Unfortunately, we don't know a game time yet, but yeah, it's a lot of great memories. You rely on a lot of other great players to have success at quarterback. So a lot of great times, and heard from coaches and that. So it's been fun reliving some of those glory days.
Gino, what Hawk just did? What goes through your mind? Because I'm watching you as he reads off 14 minutes of accolades from when you play. Like, what goes through your mind? Like, do you be like, damn, I was a bad MFer, or have you heard it all?
Well, I have heard it. It's like I will say this. I think when I started the season, my senior year, obviously Andrew wiped out Miami and Homestead pretty good, and I was like, man, we're returning national champions. We had the core of our team was back. I mean, my class with Michael Barrow, Lamar Thomas, Jesse Armstead. We had a core group of guys, and we were all coming back for our 5th year. So, I think going into the season, I thought, all right, we can be as successful as we were a season ago. And if that happens, heck, if your team wins, then we're going to have a lot of talented guys that are going to win a lot of awards. And obviously playing quarterback at Miami at the time was you'd have a chance to win the Heisman Trophy. So, I think it was you think about, coming here as a 17-year-old kid and all the blood, sweat, and tears when you're working out in January and you're like, even your redshirt year and like, man, this isn't very fun, and you don't even get a chance to play, and you're just working and those, you think about I think about now the relationships that I've made, with my teammates from back then, but it was a lot of hard work. We obviously had a lot of success when I was in school, and I was the benefactor, through a lot of individual awards, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. And if your follow-up question is to that is how much NIL money would you have made your senior year?
You're gonna make him throw up on camera, Crowder. He loses lunch. Could you imagine? I mean, this guy would have been rocking ads for D Pizza in the Miami Hurricane.
Heck, all me and Hawk wanted was what was the Italian place right here in God, Miami's Best. We want some pizza.
Yeah.
And big Herbies. Cheese right here. We'd have been good.
Little Herbies, little velvet cream across the street.
Hawk, since he's such a healthy eater, he'd been going for the Tony Roma's brick, the onion ring brick.
That onion loaf. A little Brooks Reed on the keyboard and a little onion loaf at Tony Roma's. I mean, come on. We're doing our thing. I've known Gino for a long time. Mm-hmm. I was a student at UM 87 to 91. He talks about being the benefactor. Listen, Hurricanes football fans were the benefactors of his greatness and his teammates' greatness. Any chance at the Louisville game that you will tear up, that standing on the field when it hits you, like it's not, for me, it's such the highest honor, because, and the Hall of Fame obviously is a high honor, Ring of Honor, but to literally say that this guy was so good, meant so much to the program, that no one will wear this jersey. You think there's any chance that you will tear up?
Depends on how long I have to speak. Longer? Yes, I would say yes. I think that, I mean, heck, you give me a little choked up now.
Can I get you to cry now?
Well, let me collect myself. I will say this. Yes, because I think, when I got to school, my dad died. Never saw any of this. And I think of, like I said, all my teammates that, we worked together. And so I would say the longer that I would talk, then probably yes. And I requested when we're trying to figure out what we're going to do for the ceremony and honoring, I said, I want my teammates behind me. Any guy I played with from 88 to 92, they were part of it. And so I would say yes. Yes, but I hope not to. But yeah, I mean, it's hard not, when you think about it, it's just like the time and effort and, starting to throw a football at, 6 years old and all the, Pop Warner practices and, you hope you get to, be successful in what you do and obviously sharing that with my, wife and daughter and they'll be at the game and things like that. So I think that, it's just awesome. You get to, it's more enjoyable that, like my daughter's a freshman in college that she gets to see, because she can read about it, she sees pictures, but until she meets Lamar, she knows Sapp and all these guys, and it's just like until she hears from them, then it's like that's what makes it important. I mean, like as a dad, I'm sure Channing wishes his kids could have seen him when he's in his prime. You wish they could see you in your prime when you're out there playing and having fun. So it's just, it's a tremendous honor. And then obviously she'll recognize that, but, just getting a chance to, I'm sure I'll see a lot of teammates that I haven't seen in years. And I'm sure that the tailgate before and the tailgate after is probably going to be the most fun that I have as part of the game,
I will say, as a radio host, making a guest cry really is my Heisman, and I understand it dredged up some sad memories for you, but that's a Heisman for me. Like, well, that's a national championship performance.
It's I noticed like dead air, which is just golden on the air. You know what I mean? I didn't see you trying to help me out at any point in time.
Trying to get those tears. I'm shameless. I don't know if I've ever done that to anyone before.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, you get emotional. It depends on what you think about. Like when I think about my dad not being there and stuff like that. I mean, how can you not, so.
Yeah. But Gino, Hawk, I think that's cheating when you actually say the word cry to a guest and make them cry.
Do you think I was like stealing signals?
Yeah, like you're gonna cry.
Oh boy. We're gonna talk about stealing signals. Heck, if Channing knew it was a running play or passing play, I'm sure he'd have made about 500 tackles a season. I mean, for God's sake, in college,
We were talking about some team. I won't bet back on you, but just at this point, I knew the other team's signals by the end of the first quarter. Xerox, they're running away from the safety. I think they make a big deal out of that. But I know we came here to talk about you, Gino.
Well, I would say on the signal thing, yes, you can figure it out through the course of a game, and you might be able to one or two plays, or okay, we think that all right, this is what I know they're doing. But there's always the thought, Channing, that when they say Xerox, they might have changed it up. And you're like, okay, did they change it up? So, but to go into a game and you knew and you don't even have to say anything, come on. I mean, if you told me what the coverage was before a play, I mean, come on. I mean, okay, they're going to bring a weak side blitz. All right, we just got to turn the protection and we're out. I mean,
what are you talking about? If you knew the coverage, you won every award an individual could win in his life. You didn't need the coverages. Gino, it's a question that Hawk asked people after Dolphin alumni weekend. When you get back with the guys, like you said, I didn't tear up, but I choked up a little bit when you said you want every teammate you've ever played with behind you. You get those 100+ guys, 200 maybe guys around you. Who are those guys, not on the field, but off the field? Like Tim Bowens is a guy, every time I see him, I got to go to, like, I know he's going to be funny. He's going to laugh, like, or Monday Gaston one. Who are those guys that when you look at them, you just start smiling?
Oh, man. Well, Randy Bethel was a tight end, with me. He called me earlier in the week. Dale Dawkins was one of my receivers. He was a little bit older. He got down in 90. I mean, all of them. You know what I mean? You have memories. I mean, whether they're my class and having gone through, our locker room, the freshman locker room was a dungeon. I think the ceiling was about 6'5", and it was just like, you kind of come in as kids and grow up, and then you have the older guys that you're like, I think when I was a freshman, it's like, man, that guy's a senior. You're in awe of the guys that are starting when you walk in. I don't care who you are. You walk in a Division I locker room, and you're like, man, that dude's the quarterback or that dude's the wideout. You're in awe of them until you realize, holy cow, I'm one of these guys in the locker room, and they expect me to do that in a year or two or maybe immediately. But close. I mean, Sapp and I, we had dinner last night. I mean, Lamar, is probably those two guys are probably the closest. I mean, but Kevin Patrick, I mean, defensive end, Rusty Medeiros. I mean, all of them. You just think about the, kind of probably the stupid shenanigans you did when you were, when you were 18 to 22 years old and you didn't have a care in the world. You didn't have, your bills were your gas money, and that was taken care of by your scholarship. And, it was just a lot of good times besides, on the field. I mean, obviously off the field as well.
Lamar Thomas, your favorite receiver to throw to of all time?
He was money. He was the guy that more times than not, I knew, if it was 3rd and long and I needed a 12-yard completion, that he would somehow, some way figure out a way. Now, I've come to find out. So Lamar knew the offense as good as I knew the offense. We would break the huddle, and the ball was probably supposed to come to Lamar, but every time we'd break the huddle, he would ask me, he goes, "Gee, I got this route, right?" And I'd look at him, I'm like, "Dude, you're a senior. How many years you played?" I'm like, "Yeah, you got that route." Well, he was doing that. See, like he must have been like a psychology master's degree candidate or something. Like psychologically, he was doing that to me so I would know exactly what position he was lining up in. Because what he would do, I tell you, I mean, I don't know how he did this and didn't get in brawls with the other receivers. He would come in. Now, we didn't have signals. They would run in a play. He would run in a certain play. He knew where I was going with the ball. He would tell that receiver, "Oh, coach told me to go here. You got to move to here." And he was like a Z receiver. He'd come in. He'd know the ball was going to X. He goes, "Coach told me to line up at X. You got to go to Z." And never once did they ever stop him from doing that. I don't even know how he got through 5 years, because he was 162 pounds and 6'3". How he didn't get his butt kicked one time in the huddle where they just said, "No, I ain't moving. I'm running that route. I'm catching that ball."
And even the reinforcing where he's going to be. So you guys break the huddle. The final thing that's in your brain before you take the snap, because he's made you think of his particular route.
And I mean, I'm pissed at him. I'm like, this is the last thing I have to worry about. You're telling all 11 guys what to do. And then I got this guy to make sure I'm telling him what to do. And he was doing it just to make sure that I knew he was on the field, where he was at, and he was going to get the ball. So it was some crazy time. I mean,
it worked.
Yeah,
it worked for both of you.
Yeah, yeah. No, we had fun, but he did that. Trust me, he cost a bunch of other wideouts catches because he would go where he knew the ball was going.
That is brilliant. Well, Gino Torretta will be honored with the highest honor that the University of Miami football program could bestow. They will retire his jersey number. It'll be for the Louisville game. Again, we don't know what time it'll be yet, but certainly I'm going to be out there. And I have very exciting news. I haven't shared this with anybody. I have pulled some strings at Hard Rock Stadium. They will be serving spaghetti and meatballs in your suite.
Oh, my God.
So you can have your favorite dinner, because we know when you're out, you love spaghetti and meatballs. You're welcome.
And an appetizer, a za.
Yeah. Talk about it. Talk about it.
I tell you what. You know what? I will give you a big hug if you get some Giordano's, Geno's, or some Lou Malnati's deep dish from Chicago down at the game. Then we're boys.
Is my command. I mean, they're retiring your number, not mine. So your wish.
You get the pizza. Command. Channing brings the beer, and we're all good.
Hey,
there we go. Little deep dish pizza, some funky Buddha. I mean, we're gonna have a party.
Happy hours coming up.
Sounds good. I like an amber ale. Channing.
Honestly, one of the best to ever do it at the University of Miami. We're super proud of you. Very proud to call you a friend. And congratulations. And obviously, we'll talk to you plenty of times before the Louisville game, but congratulations. We can't wait for that day or night.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your tech wizard, Solana, figuring out this video setup for me, because I was technologically challenged here at the start.
Are you doing this segment from the Heisman house?
No, the Heisman house is a very high priced property looking in the hills, looking out over the Rose Bowl. So it's it's big wood, as they say.
Well, listen, I see plantation shutters behind you. Like Crowder always says, you can't hide money.
Hey, yeah, he ain't no Shaq Hawk. Don't act like he went a 2-1, Gino.
Shut that
Not
mower off.
exactly,
I'm doing an interview.
Not exactly level or blinds over there.
Hold on. Let me tell the yard guys to quiet down as we're on the
They
air.
beat it. Thank you, Gino. Congrats, man.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.